To ensure we can keep producing great free content, please leave a comment below or leave a question that we can help you with. Then like and subscribe for all the latest updates. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. Shooting in RAW. Even though the iPhone is a brilliant piece of modern technology, it does have some limitations, such as manual controls. To get over some of these limitations, I would recommend some other camera apps for your iPhone photography. I'm sure that Apple will bring out the much needed manual controls and other recording formats such as RAW. Other options I would suggest would be Lightroom for photography and FilMIC Pro for video for those that want to do video. These apps look and feel the same as a standard onboard camera, but have the features that turn your camera into a fully manual professional camera, just like a DSLR. You have the option of controlling everything manually, including the exposure, the focus, the ISO film speed. For those that don't know, that stands for the International Organization of Standardization, which means nothing really that's relevant to the actual ISO. But also the white balance, and best of all, being able to shoot in a RAW format rather than JPEG. Why RAW? Shooting in RAW gives you a huge advantage of more dynamic range in dealing with the shadows and the highlights, particularly when editing images. The file sizes are slightly larger, but the results are more than worth it. The Lightroom app at the moment is also totally free, so you need to go to the App Store and download this app. Its full name is Adobe Lightroom Photo Editor with this icon. When you download and open it, it will show you a couple of sample tutorials and then ask you to register. You won't be bombarded with spam, as there is a tick box for no mail. Adobe is one of the leading photographic software companies and should be trustworthy. Once registered, the app will request access to the photos and the camera, which you'll have to accept. When the app's open, you have two main options. On the bottom right, one is to tap and open the photo library on the left-hand blue toggle. The other is to open the camera on the right-hand toggle. So here we tap onto the right-hand toggle for the camera. When we open this up, it looks like a standard camera. At the top, you have the option for the standard flash settings. Down below, it shows that you're in an automatic setting. You have the shutter button, which lens would you like to use if you have multiple lenses, and the ability to lock the settings. And finally, the color presets again, which we've had in our standard camera. This is the same as a normal camera, but in the top center, you will see JPEG. If you click on JPEG, you can toggle this across to DNG, which is the raw file. So even in automatic, you can get better detailed editable photos to start with when using raw files. But now click the drop-down arrow next to the auto and select professional. This has now given us more options on the settings. So the big difference now is that everything is controllable manually. Top center again, you have the toggle for JPEG and RAW. I would suggest keeping that into RAW. On the top right, you have three dots, which brings up a mini menu. First, you have the ratio, allows you to choose in which ratio you'd like to shoot, whether that be 16:9, 3:2, 4:3, which is your standard photo in the native app, or 1:1, which is your square used for social media such as Instagram. Then you have your self-timer with three timing options, either 2, 5 or 10 seconds. Next to that, you have a better grid system. This has different grid options and is a guide, particularly on the rule of thirds. Then you have the spirit level to assist you with leveling the horizons. It will also vibrate when you hit the actual level point as well, which is a great feature. Next to that, you have the toggle showing clipping, which generally is showing overexposed areas and is also known as zebras. This just helps in getting the correct exposure. Lastly, you have the settings menu with the options of geotagging your photo and also saving an uncompressed original photo as well as an HDR blended master photo. For HDR, you can select this in the drop-down where you selected the professional mode. When shooting HDR, it performs in the same way as the native app. It takes a number of photos and then blends them together automatically. On the baseline above the shutter, you have a full selection of manual controls now. First, you have the exposure compensation. Because you don't have an aperture to adjust, it works in the same way for lightening and darkening, but without the depth of field. If you wanted to set a particular shutter speed, you don't have any other options of changing the exposure apart from the ISO, so the exposure compensation will help you here. Next to that, you have the shutter speed with an automatic option, but then a manual settings slider. Next to that, you have the ISO settings, again with full automatic settings and also manual settings. The lower the ISO number, the finer the grain or the noise, and used in brighter conditions to bring out the finer detail. The higher the number, the more grain or noise, and used in low light conditions. Next to that, you have the white balance, again with automatic setting, but also different lighting presets for different types of lighting, such as tungsten, fluorescent, daylight, cloudy, and also a manual picker so you can set your own white balance. Then you have the manual focus, allowing you to focus manually, again also with the automatic focus option. When you are in focus, the subject will be highlighted in green. You then have a reset button to change everything back to default to just clear all your settings. Once you've dialed in the settings, you can click the padlock to lock the settings in for when you take the photo. This just ensures that no other settings will be changed whilst taking the photo. So that's the camera app, and in the advanced course we go through the settings for manual cameras in much more of a detail. But this is just another option of a camera to get the best out of your iPhone. To ensure we can keep producing great free content, please leave a comment below or leave a question that we can help you with. Then like and subscribe for all the latest updates. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video.